Yugioh Vrains is a mess. Yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh! Vrains. Honestly, I started watching this when it first started airing, so, uh, yeah, at this moment I just finished watching the latest episode 34, and it was bad. I mean, really, the word bad and Yu-Gi-Oh anime typically go together, right? But nah, I like 5Ds. I didn't expect to be. I didn't expect for it to be good. Like card games or motorcycles. You know, obviously, all of us thought it was a freaking bad idea. It was just awful. But the mature theme that it had, you know, it, it was pretty good. So I guess because the character wasn't a crybaby. He was chill. He was chill. And then you look at other Yu-Gi-Oh animes. We all remember the first season, and it's childhood. But if you really actually go back and examine it, it's kind of bad. I mean, it's good, so good that in a way, for childhood's sake, for nostalgia's sake, and it's what got it all started. In fact, Yami Yugi he's the best character of the Yu-Gi-Oh franchise, hands down. So in a way, the first Yu-Gi-Oh season is pretty good. If you overlook all of the blah, hey, go watch Yu-Gi-Oh with Bridge. So, and then you go to GX, and I didn't really watch much of GX. I did skip. I remember watching the last episode just for the fuck of it, just to see how it ended. And it was a duel between champions, and I thought it was pretty good. And Jaden's not too bad of a character, although that happy-go-luckiness is questionable. And there was a Dragon Ball, not a Dragon Ball, but a Yu-Gi-Oh! Bridge movie where, where I believe Yami Yugi was like, "Stop being happy, stop being positive," something like that. It was freaking hilarious. And then we move on to the third, the 5Ds. 5Ds was great. Didn't expect that. Nobody expected that. Um, and then but when it first came out, we fucking hated synchros. It sucked. The game was changing, and there was no stopping it. But yeah, I guess games are made to evolve. You just got to get used to it, even no matter how bad and OP the cycle is. So then we move to Yu-Gi-Oh! Zietsu. Zietsu was terrible. Some of you may argue, yeah, words that I won't be able to understand. You would probably defend this shit. But Zetsu was terrible. The character, what's his name again? Him, and he had a naked spirit with him. Yuma, I think. It was terrible. In fact, it was pretty much a trend. The only main character whose name didn't begin with a Y was Jaden. So that automatically makes Jaden the best character. But no, Yami's the best character. Yami Yugi. But or Pharaoh as we all know him. But anyway, I hated Zetsu. Couldn't really get through it. I watched as much as possible. I tried, but the middle schooler theme, it just killed me, man. And then we get to Arc V, Arc 5. Do I really need to say anything about Arc 5? And just how terrible it. Arc 5 had some good points. But the main character, he was a baby. He cried so much. It's like, man, you are a boy. No, I'm not trying to be sexist here, but for us I was born in 1990, and so I grew up, and with the mentality that boys don't cry. Now if we're getting an ass whooping, there's nothing we can do about it. But over a card game, okay, video games, we rage at video games. We're not going to cry. We rage, we throw our controllers. But a card game, a children's card game, he cried and he cried and he cried. It was in middle school too. This is no 10-year-old kid. I think, was he in high school? Was he in? No, I think he was in middle school. He was at least, teen or maybe early teens or something. Like probably 14 or 15 years old, somewhere around that. He was in middle school at least. So, going through puberty at some point. No, it shouldn't be crying like that, but he did. And it's so much crying. And the characters were just blah, 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 blah. In fact, Arc V's plot with the whole father thing was just a blatant copy of Jutsu. It's the whole father thing. Like, come on, man. And then we finally get a fresh take with this one. Yugioh Vrains. No father plot or some shit like that. This kid doesn't have any parents. And also, he's not a middle schooler, he's a high schooler this time. So it's more of it in a high school setting. All revolving around, virtualness. I'm guessing from what I'm seeing here, their entire bodies, at least for some of them, appears to teleport into the virtual world. None of this is really truly explained, because if you look at it, and I don't know, Yu-Gi-Oh, they always seem to feel the pain when they get attacked directly and shit. So, and in this case, when they're in the virtual world, they rescue, like if you look at this previous episode, I believe it was 34. He saved the kid from being, I guess, saved the kid. Damn, did I just forget it? Was it that forgettable, that scene? But he saved the kid. Now, if they don't take damage to their actual bodies, then why would he bother with that, right? Some could argue he did that to prevent the kid from turning into data. But in prior episodes, kid, they were trying really hard not to fall off the board, and and some stuff like that. So apparently they can feel something, or something happens. Maybe their character takes damage, and who knows, and they don't want to take that damage. But getting to the point, let's talk about Yugioh Vrains. Let's talk about Yu-Gi-Oh in general, but mostly Yugioh Vrains. From start to finish, this Yu-Gi-Oh Vrains was questionable. I was questioning whether I was going to actually continue to watch it and watch it through. And the only reason why I wanted to watch this one was because 5Ds was surprisingly good. Yeah. Screw Art 5, screw Zetsu. I thought about 5Ds because because now we're back to a more mature character, right? But the character I guess he's trying to be like Yusei. He does take off the Yusei, even though Yusei is slightly a better character, but or are they? Maybe they're that identical. They're so identical. Does it really even matter? They're damn identical. And I almost got on their asses. in in a critique in my head about the transformation thing, but they get away with it because the character doesn't actually try. He's an avatar. He transforms into his avatar. All of them transform. So because if you look at the other anime, the other Yu-Gi-Oh animes, the characters always seem to have to transform. We got Yugi, he transforms to Yam. Technically, that's not a transformation. But Jaden, I don't remember Jaden. Jaden is always an oddball out. And then we go to Zyuso. Well, 5Ds, Yusei didn't have a transformation either. But Zyuso, oh yeah, transformation in that one. Part 5, I don't know. Maybe the transformation thing, it's just picky choosy. So I hate it in general in Yu-Gi-Oh because it makes no damn sense. But I guess Zyuso is the only offender that really just bleh in it. Just stomp on Zyuso. It sucks. It had potential, but it just the only thing you really would like about Zyuso is the Yu-Gi-Oh game itself. The cards. You would not like any of the characters, in my opinion. The cards itself. Like, the summoning mechanic was better than the synchro thing, the XYZ. But anyway, but the summoning mechanic and arc, Vrains, it's kind of, it's odd. It's the old Link summoning thing. So they don't need tuners. They don't need the same level. And while Konami was trying to, I guess, slow down the game, they failed miserably and kind of sped it up. And if you look at these characters, man, they can freaking link summon multiple times per duel. And if you caught a glimpse or maybe even played the game in real life, or at least on one of the many programs we have, Watchio Pro, then you would know that you can juice the system and link summon multiple times per turn. So I don't see a slowdown in the game itself, in the anime or in real life. But right now, I'm going to speak in terms of the anime. Real life doesn't apply because my point is to critique the anime, or should I say, rant about the anime. Yeah, rant. I like that. Anyway, we got the characters. We got the three champions are finally together, or should I say, finally on a more official team. And what they're going to do is go storm the Tower of Hanoi, and find the main villain, Revolver, and finally stop his plans. That's what's going on in the arc right now. And, well, it seems pretty straightforward. Go find final boss, defeat final boss. But along the journey to final boss, you gotta defeat other things in there, other enemies. So far, the only one we've seen is this ugly motherfucker. He's called Spectre. Yeah, his face is so creepy. But his deck is pretty good. Like, pretty good against Trickster, as if he built it specifically, and he did, I guess, add it to the counter. But some cards in there, it wasn't just some of the cards he had in there could work on anybody. It was just good. I mean, he had a hand trap that, that was pretty good. And his final trap, ended it all and dealt burn damage and pretty much wiped. This was one of the duels where one of the three main characters didn't win. Of course, we know the main character is probably going to come there and struggle, because this seemed to be a pattern with Yu-Gi-Oh duels, and it's really freaking annoying. against a major villain, the main character always gets his life points bumped down to like 100 and then comes back and win. Every fucking duel. Tired of seeing that shit. Can you try something original? How about not letting his life points hit under 1,000 for once, but let us see a string of combos? If you're going to advertise your game, how about advertising a strategy that won't let us falter below 1,000 life points? We're not trying to do it that way. Plus, we don't have cheating skills. Oh yeah, this anime wants to do something different. So to justify cheating in the game, they gave each player a skill, and I think some of them even have more than one skill. But don't quote me on that. I forget. But they each have a skill, and they can activate that skill at a set, I guess, when the conditions of the game favors them. Like the main character's condition to use his skill is that his life points have to be 1,000 points or less, which is shitty. Because if it was any one of us, we would have probably OTK'd his ass, and you can forget about any skill whatsoever, nigga. You are done. But man, oh man. But that right there is Yu-Gi-Oh language. I hear so much of it when I play at a card shop. It's annoying. No, it's actually pretty funny. Anyway, let's be honest. Would you really give an opponent like that a chance to use that skill? No. You're going to OTK. You're going to finish him off. So the main character's skill is just terrible. And then you got these other characters with all kinds of skill. But anyway, moving on past that, we've got episode 34, and the dialogue of this episode was just terrible. It was awful. Awful if you read, because I'm once again I'm watching it on Crunchyroll, and so the subtitles are what the translators gave to me to work with, and you can't really expect great dialogue from Yu-Gi-Oh! 5D's been an exception from this. 5D's was pretty good. Yeah, the dialogue wasn't perfect, but it was way better than what we got in this episode, I'll tell you that much. Hey, I watched every single episode of 5D's. Now, the whole time I was kind of hoping he was going to get with the girl, but they let me down. They let me down badly. But yeah. And then we get to this episode. The only good thing about this episode, not good thing, but funny, what I kind of found funny was that face plant at the end of it. Oh yeah. And spoiler. Who cares about spoilers with Yugioh Vrains? Yeah. It really, Yu-Gi-Oh! Has turned into a big advertisement for feature cards coming out. But, sometimes nowadays Konami will probably print each card an altered version of cards because they're trying to make them all balanced in the anime versus, past animes where they're all just broken straight up. I'm not sure. I think they're kind of still failing at that, but they're not as bad as they used to be. Like, you look at 5Ds and even before, no, you look at the original Yu-Gi-Oh! The original Yu-Gi-Oh! Those cards are just straight up broken. Just broken. But that's why they're anime specific cards. Sadly, anime specific cards need to be, if they exist, they need to be printed. But stop making them broke and then print them. That aside, episode 34 was just it's actually making me wonder if I should continue to watch this anime, it was not too bad at first, and I was able to tolerate it all the way to this point. And I'll probably watch the next episode. It's not awful. It's not the worst Yu-Gi-Oh anime out there. It's certainly better than it's Zyotsu, in my opinion. So it's not too bad, but it's not that great either. I mean, like the main character barely has any other interactions with other characters other than his homeboy. That with the truck in him. He doesn't really interact with the character. He's there to swoop in and save the day in a duel, and then go back to doing him. So if that's how main characters are supposed to be, just to swoop in, then I don't want to bark up that tree. Screw that. So I mean, once again, this anime isn't terrible, but come on, man. Look at 5Ds. I mean, 5Ds, you can argue the same thing. You say swooped in. Shut up. Let me tell you something. Yusei actually interacted with the other characters. He had friends, for one. This guy, this main character here, he doesn't really have any friends, and it's the incident that happened to him wasn't even wasn't even that bad. He was he was kidnapped for a few days, and then let go, completely unharmed. The only thing he had to do for those few days was play your children's card game, and they electrocuted him, which is fucked up. And that much pain can affect you in a negative way. It's like, could you imagine being captured and then each day somebody just beats the shit out of you with a bull whip? That's what that was, or beat the shit out of you with their fist, or electrocute you over and over. So I can understand that being a factor that affects this character. Happened when he was a kid, and it's implanted in the brain. It's implanted in the brain, and it's there as a shared memory. And he wants to find the other guy that was by him, I guess, for some reason. And it took him that long to actually do it. None of this shit really adds up. The backstory sucks. That's what I'm saying. It sucks. It sucks. And don't you even fanboy rage on me and tell me it doesn't. You know it does. The backstory doesn't even need to be there. They made it right quick just to give the main character a backstory and a justification to, nuke the Knights of Hanoi. So, blah, blah, blah. Now, watch him duel this deck that we're advertising. And we're going to slowly show you his boss monsters that you're going to want to buy. So get ready to raise those prices. Kunami. Yeah, and so my final verdict for Yugioh Vrains is not here yet. That's right. I'm not going to rate this anime. It's not done. If I were to rate it now, it'd be like a 3.6 out of 5. Not too bad. It really isn't that bad. It's not great either. It's garbage. No, not garbage. I know what garbage is. And you will see soon. But it's not awful. But right now there is no rating for it because it's not finished. I just want to rant how terrible episode 34 was. And episode 34 gets a 1.9 out of 5. The translated dialogue was terrible. The only funny part, which is sad, is that face plant at the end. And it just, I don't know. Anyway, peace out.